Hello everybody, this is Gareth Cahoon Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or otherwise you can donate to my ministry and the charity work that I do on garethcahoon3 at gmail.com on PayPal. This one here is about Moran Zamboni, or should I say Mayor Mamdani. Tensions escalate as Mayor Mamdani won't march in annual New York City Israeli parade. If you thought the tensions between Jewish groups and New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani was tense, get ready for an escalation. The annual Israel Day parade is about a month away and the mayor won't be marching in it. He's a flat out no. It is billed as the largest gathering in the world in support of Israel. For decades, showing up in the Israeli Day Parade hasn't been controversial, it's been expected. New York City mayors from both parties, including Rudy Giuliani, Michael Bloomberg, and Bill de Blasio, have all made appearances, often marching, greeting crowds, and using the moment to reaffirm support for New York's Jewish community in a tradition going back to the 1960s. Even when political tensions ran high overseas, the parade itself remained one of those rare civic traditions that transcend party lines. That's what makes this year different, because when a mayor doesn't show up, it becomes part of the story. When it's Soren Mandani, or Moran Zamboni as I call him, it becomes the story. The event will take place on May 31st and it's called the Israelis' Day on 5th because the parade marches up Fifth Avenue in the front of hundreds of thousands of spectators. The event is managed by the Jewish Community Relations Council of New York and features over 40,000 marchers, including American and Israeli community leaders, dignitaries, and entertainers. Even the Knesset in Israel is expected to send its largest ever delegation to the 2026 parade. The theme for this year's parade is Proud Americans, Proud Zionists, and according to the parade's website, all groups must identify with Israel as the Jewish and democratic state and recognise Israel as the homeland of the Jewish people. In addition, it goes on to state that all groups must oppose, not fund, nor advocate for the group global boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement against Israel, which seeks the delegitimization and destruction of the entire Jewish and democratic state of Israel. I guess we know why Moran Zamboni wants nothing to do with that. Liz Burney, a researcher with the Zionist Organization of America, told All Israel News that Mamdani is making a big mistake. Invariably, on the front of the parade, you have the mayor of New York. Every single mayor of New York has marched in the parade except Mamdani is saying that he won't. She said, the Jews in New York, especially now, need leaders who are going to tell the Jewish community, I'm your brother, not leaders like Mamdani who say you're dirt, I'm not going to march with you. It should be noted that Mamdani has marched in other cultural parades so far, including the Pakistani parade and the St. Patrick's Day parade. Mamdani's decision is once again raising eyebrows in the city with one of the largest Jewish populations in the world, and especially at a time when anti-Semitism in New York remains alarmingly high. According to the recent testimony from the New York Police Department officials, Jews account for more than half of the hate crime victims in New York City, despite making up a much smaller proportion of the population. Of course, the parade is just the starting point. The bigger issue is what has been happening in the last few weeks and why trust between Mamdani and parts of the Jewish community appears to be eroding quickly. A recent Passover event, the mayor was heckled by an attendee who shouted concerns about Jewish safety. It wasn't a massive disruption, but it was the kind of moment that revealed an underlying tension that has been building ever since he became mayor. There is clearly a level of discomfort right now that goes beyond policy disagreements, said Michael Dorff, who was present at the Passover gathering. What you're seeing is a breakdown in trust. People want to know where their mayor stands, not just in words but in actions. And when those actions or absences raises questions, it creates real concern. And there's the issue that has dominated headlines in recent weeks, the controversy surrounding Mamdani's wife, Rama Duwaji. Multiple reporters surfaced showing that she had previously interacted with social media posts tied to the October 7th, the mass attacks, and other Palestinian content. Sparking backlash, the situation escalated as more past posts were uncovered, including content that critics say appeared to praise the Palestinian terrorists. Mamdani's response has been consistent and also controversial. He has repeatedly described his wife as a private person, distancing her from his administration. My wife is a private citizen who has never held a role in this administration, Mamdani said in response to the growing scrutiny. Her views are her own, and I have been clear about my positions, including condemning terrorism and anti Semitism. I will continue to lead this city based on those principles, regardless of political pressure. So far, however, Jews in New York don't like what they see, and the parade snub just adds to the list. We always knew that this moron and socialist democrat uh, idiotic Palestine supporter would not be a conclusive mayor for New York, that we know what side he favours, and it certainly is not the Jewish community. This man should be front and centre on in that parade, but his absence will speak volumes, and it will only highlight his true colours, and the true colours are evil. Shalom, Maranatha, and Hallelujah, and goodbye to moron Zamboni.